story that must be told. Here's a little story from beginning to end. Here's a little story that must be told. Here's a little story that must be told. Here's a little story that must be told. Here's a little story from beginning to end. Here's a little story that must be told. Here's a little story that must be told. Here's a little story that must be told. Here's a little story from beginning to end.
What's good, people? Welcome to another episode of I Gotta Do This Podcast Real Quick. I'm your host, Wise, aka Hambone Jones, aka your cool ass homie. And I want to start this episode off by apologizing to my listeners that I do have. I had a lot of things going on this week, a lot of changes that happened in my life recently, and I just not so much as put the pod on the back burner, because that's not true. The last episode that I did, it was an episode that the content was something that was, or the conversation was something that was actually kind of near and dear to me. And I didn't feel like I gave it the attention that it deserved, or I didn't give the conversation, I guess, in the way that I felt like I should have. I wasn't happy with what I recorded for it. And I wasn't going to put it out and expect y'all to like it when I was on the fence about it. You know, I don't feel like that's fair to y'all, and I don't want to cheap out the people that are listening to me. You know, y'all deserve better than that. So right now, that one is kind of locked away in the vault. Maybe I'll revisit it. I'm sure that I will eventually, but until then, I'm going to still put out everything that I need to, everything that I want to. Make sure that y'all laced up, you know, with some good interludes, laced up with some good topics on these episodes, laced up with some good guests. So again, I do apologize. I am sorry. And moving forward, like I said, I'm going to make sure that I'm on schedule for y'all. But your boy got a new mic, so hopefully this is a lot clearer than what I was putting out before. Now you get a chance to really enjoy this voice. Nah, I'm just playing. But I got a new mic, so hopefully, like I said, the quality will be a lot better. I'm excited for this new Marvel token game. Granted, it's not coming out until next year, but I'm waiting on that. More closer, I'm waiting on Borderlands 4. Like, I am a huge Borderlands fan. My homeboy put me on the first one. I want to say it was like back in 2009. I played the first Borderlands on PS3 and fell in love with it, like, off top. That's the game that got me into first-person shooters. Now, granted, before that, I did have the 007 games on PS1. If you remember, most of those were first-person shooters. Like, I think he had a few third-persons in there, but for the most part, they were first-person shooters. But Borderlands, man, they gave a comedy. They had, like, guns on top of guns on top of guns. Like, when you think that you might have found the same gun, I'm pretty sure there's something different about it. I don't think I've ever gotten a duplicate gun in Borderlands. I might be tripping because of the amount of guns that they do have on that game, like the amount of weapons. And then, like, as the game progressed, the weapons just got more and more ridiculous. And I loved it. I'm talking like they gave you way more, but then the guns could do other shit. I remember in the first game, they had this brand called TDR. TDR guns would be like, if you reload, you'd end up like throwing the gun and the gun to explode. Okay, cool. Borderlands 2 pretty much do the same thing. I want to say it was Borderlands 3 that started changing that up, where when you reloaded with the gun, some of them exploded on contact like they used to, like a grenade. But then you had others that turned into like a little mini robot gun or some shit like that. Like, Borderlands always had the most ridiculous stuff going on, but I loved it. Oh my God. The second one is my favorite because Handsome Jack was the best villain. I'm not going to say overall, but he was definitely one of the top like villains. Like if you do a Mount Rushmore, he got to be on there. I'm sorry, like I know you would think of other people like Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, and I don't want to ruin no other games for other people, so that might be where I cut the villain thing. But you can't knock Handsome Jack. And then like they came out with this game called Borderlands, the pre-sequel, which I think were the events between the first and the second game. And during that, you had a chance to play as Jack. So before the Handsome Jack that we ended up seeing in Borderlands 2 as the villain, we got a chance to see him grow to that point, or what might have changed for him that turned him into what we ended up seeing him as first. The storytelling on that game is awesome. The fact that it has RPG elements in that game, like, is honestly everything that I would want in a game that's like that. And then you have the co-op aspect of the game, because granted, the game is pretty much built solo, but at the same time, you could have co-op throughout the whole game. And what I think it was up to like 4 people. Like it's crazy. You could essentially have or play with every Vault Hunter at the same time, like with other people. Who wouldn't want to go through a story mode with some homies, or just, some random people that's got different Vault Hunters from what you playing with? I think it's going to be awesome. I'm hyped for the 4th one. Like I said, from what I saw, the little bit that I saw, because I only saw like, I think it was the reveal, or they talked about it. They gave like a little showcase, Gearbox did for it. I watched that and it was pretty good. I wasn't really focused on what they were talking about. I was more so just looking at the gameplay, and it looked like they built on the mechanics that they had from the 3rd game. They built on that and just fine-tuned them. Pretty much what the 3rd one did with the 2nd one. I just want the story to land, because I'm pretty sure they're going to nail the gameplay. I'm not worried about that. What I am concerned with, like I said, is the story direction. What's going on with the villains, because like I said, I haven't looked up much since then. And the way things are now, I don't want to be spoiled by a leak or something like that, because it's easy to find anything you want to know about a game nowadays, or about anything. Like, think of movies. Like how often they spoil like Marvel movies, or they have these theories on other shit and they leak out, and they take the smallest thing and blow it up and end up ruining the experience. So I'd rather not look up anything about the games that I like. If it's something that I know about, if it's something that I'm familiar with, I'm not looking for anything outside of officially what's being dropped by Gearbox, or the people that's making Borderlands, or making a movie, or making the game. Like my homie just told me about the Fantastic Four trailer. Definitely finna look at that, but again, that was something that was dropped by Marvel. So it's something that I can trust. I don't want to read into, read into fan theories, and you go down that rabbit hole, you're going to end up seeing or finding something that you don't want to find or see. And now you mad, but can't be mad at anybody but yourself because you went down there. And I don't want to do that. So, yeah, I definitely looking forward to that. Of course, with GTA, it's a lot of people that were upset when they said they were going to push it off until next year rather than this year. I felt like I seen this coming, because I almost want to say they did this with GTA 5. I'm not sure. I'm really just going like off of what I can remember right now. Probably look it up later on, but I almost want to say that they delayed GTA 5 before that came out. But I think that was like, what, 2013 or 2014 or something like that. I think it was 2013. But yeah, I'm excited for this Clips album that's about to come out. I heard Ace Trumpets already. That was the first single I think they let go, and I was already excited knowing that Malice and Pusha T done got back together. I know Malice, I'm not quite sure. I think he still know Malice. But either way, having both of them back on the track and they got Pharrell producing, come on, shit gonna be ridiculous. And then I heard So Be It. I didn't know that they put that track out. My cousin had told me that he heard it and was like, I listened to this shit like 20 times, cuz. And I was like, okay. So I finally listened to it and that did not disappoint. I'm ready for this album to come out, because for some reason I thought it came out this month, but it comes out next month. And I was so hurt when I realized, like, wait a minute, what is album at? It's supposed to be out. And I saw I think it was July 11th. I was messed up. I was like, nah, dog, y'all got to be playing with me. I know Terrence coming out, man. Stop playing. Yeah, that album is gonna be fire. And I can't wait for it. Something got to give after that Carter 6 debacle. That mishap, we can't let that shit slide either. That shit was hot garbage, a letdown. So we know Push and Malice gonna come through and save the day. And JID's album, I think, is coming out too. I'm not sure if it's at the same time, but I know that's coming out soon, and I'm excited to hear that. Like, his first album was nice, so I know this follow-up is going to be real decent too. So I started streaming, or at least I'm setting up my Twitch channel. Like, my Twitch, I don't understand, like, what was the issue that I had with it. For a long time, I fought with Twitch, and I was not able to stream on there. I could stream on YouTube with no problem. YouTube was cool, it was easy. But a lot of people I knew jumped on Twitch, and that's how they was looking at people. So I wanted to at least be able to stream there, upload my videos to YouTube, and keep it moving. But somewhere down the line, I wasn't able to stream anymore. So I was like, man, what's going on? What the hell? I looked at, I did everything as far as the troubleshooting goes that they told me to do. Tried to reach out to support to see if there was anything with my account or something like that being blocked or banned. It was nothing to that effect. Going through all the troubleshooting, and it just didn't work. So I deleted my channel, my original channel. Started a new one. That shit still didn't work. Deleted that one and then started a new one. Now with this last one that I got, I was determined. I was like, look, I got to get this shit moving. Because if I don't get this, if I don't get it through Twitch, then I'm not streaming. Like that live stream shit'll be dead for me. But ended up pushing through. Found out it was just some settings on my PlayStation that wasn't right. Corrected that, and now your boy is streaming. I'm trying to push the stream. Check me out on there. I'll put the link in the description of the episode so you guys will know where to find your boy. If not, it's Twitch TV/wise_the_homie, just like with the pod. I'll be on there. Right now, I'm actually streaming my playthrough of Black Myth Wukong. When I tell you, that game kicked my ass left and right, it's crazy. So far, I've only gotten as far as my stream is gone. This is like my full playthrough of the game, so I'm trying to stick with it. It'll help me like focus on beating some of this back catalog that I got. So y'all will see what I see when it gets past this part, because this is as far as I've gotten. I don't have a streaming schedule just yet, but sooner or later I'll figure that out. The streaming will be more random than the podcast, because like I said, I'm committed to Thursday, Friday for y'all. So I definitely want to make sure that I get that out. But in the meantime, I'll be streaming Black Myth Wukong. I might stream some other stuff in the middle of that. Like I play Street Fighter real heavy. I'm trying to get back into that actually, because all of my competitive games I kind of just took a back seat and been playing like more single player. Like on top of playing Wukong, I picked the Outer Worlds back up. Thought that game was pretty cool. So maybe I'll stream me playing that. I mean, even with the podcast, when I uploaded to YouTube, my visuals for this is me playing random games, mostly fighting games though, just to kind of show off either me getting my ass whooped, because that's definitely what happened in the Dragon Ball. When I looked at it again, me and my homeboy was training, and yo, when I tell you this dude was laying hands to me, and it's messed up because literally right when the episode ended is when I started to turn the series around, but it's cool. You got to show the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm not going to act like I'm God guru on a fighting game because that's definitely not the case. But like I said, the visuals I do put up is me playing different games. So I want to make sure that it's at least not what I'm streaming, because I don't want to double dip. I at least want to give y'all something different to listen to. Oh, I'm sorry, something different to watch. But as far as listening goes, I am going to drop another interlude this week. So what the interludes are, they're just random thoughts that I might have, or random pieces of content that I want to drop. Some of them might pop up on Spotify. That's my aim, is to try to get them on there. If not, they all are uploaded to my YouTube channel. That also is in the description too. But like I said, it'll be random pieces of content, whether it's music, like beats that I made, or a song, or just a random thought that I might have about a subject, just real quick. They would be shorter than the episodes, so it wouldn't be a full length. Like I said, just you'll get those interludes, and with those, I would definitely recommend listening to those too. Like I said, it could be anything. Matter of fact, it could be more of a teaser into what the next episode could be too. So, I would listen, but that's just me. But anyway, it definitely feels good to do this again. Now that I got time and figured out my new schedule, I know how to work around and be able to continue to do this podcast. And I definitely appreciate everybody still sticking around and listening to your boy. Like I said, I won't fall off again. I'll still be here, still be doing my thing, still talking my shit, and letting y'all know how I feel about this and that. This episode, honestly, I just wanted to apologize and, just ramble a little bit. Ironheart just came out, and I'm definitely excited about that. I wanted to see her character, where they were going to take her after Wakanda Forever. I'm excited for the Fantastic Four coming out. I want to see where they're going to go with this, because again, from what my homie told me about that trailer, I don't want to put it out there. I don't want to say nothing, because I don't want to fall down in that rabbit hole and suck people into what I think about it. But that's why we're here too, is to hear what I think about it. From what he told me, we both kind of came to the same conclusion that this movie is set up for them to lose. And I'm pretty sure if you followed everything up until this point and, you heard the rumors or whatever, you would know that this movie was supposed to bring them into the MCU. I'm assuming towards the end of the movie, it was supposed to, bring them into that timeline, because the assumption is Galactus, won. And honestly, I don't see how in the world they would have been able to fight this man. But again, excited to see that, because the Thunderbolts, it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. But it wasn't groundbreaking, and I wasn't expecting an Avengers movie, because in all honesty, the thing that was the allure was the same thing that hurt this movie, was the fact that we don't see these people. We've never seen these people together. Like, a lot of them were one off. Granted, Yelena was in Hawkeye after Black Widow, and again, that's one of my favorite characters in the MCU. But the same thing with Alexei, like, we haven't seen him since Black Widow. The story didn't allow for them to show his character again outside of that, because it wouldn't have made sense to. Taskmaster, We hadn't seen her since Black Widow. John Walker, we didn't see him since Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I had almost forgot about Ghost. I believe she was in the second Ant-Man movie. I don't think it was the first one, which was the one Lawrence Fishburne was in. We didn't see these people together. Like, in no way would it have made sense for them to have been together. But again, we don't even know much about these people. And like I said, I think that's what hurt it. But that was also the allure, was like, well, shit, let's see what they got going. You know, last time we saw John Walker, he became the U.S. agent, and we didn't see him no more. Last time we saw Taskmaster, she was at the end of Black Widow. I even forgot how that ended. As a matter of fact, that's the movie that I'm on, because I'm going through the MCU Phase 4 again, and that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm rewatching that movie. Actually, I need to watch it tonight. I'm just trying to refocus, you know, on why this movie was supposed to have been the course corrector for the MCU. I already came into it with the assumption of this was going to be a world building movie anyway, which a lot of, you know, this last phase was, because it was some big shoes to fill after Endgame. Like, after the whole Infinity Saga, it was a lot to rebuild. You had Avengers that were dead. You had the whole team pretty much gone, and you would have had to make room for new people, for new heroes and new stories. But that's what I think people weren't patient for. They expected it to be something bigger than what the Infinity Saga was, but we spent the Infinity Saga building up to a big point. So why wouldn't anything after that go through the same type of situation? You know, so you would have to give it a little bit more grace than, oh man, it's not as big as Endgame, or it's not as big as Infinity War. Because when you think about it, everything leading up until that point got bigger and bigger. Like Captain America, Civil War wasn't a Captain America movie. Civil War was a pre-Infinity War. That was an Avengers movie. That shit introduced Black Panther and Spider-Man. But come on, that wasn't a Captain America movie. That was an Avengers movie. So, you know, everybody's looking at it like we not getting movies on that level, even with the team ups, because you had the Marvels, which I thought the Marvels was straight. I didn't think it was as bad as what people made that out to be. And the ending of it was the shit too, which I don't want to give it away if you hadn't seen it, but I feel like this is how one of the ties is going to occur in Doomsday. So we'll see that. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. I'm not going to go too deep into that. I'm going to save that for another day, talking about the MCU. But yeah, like I said, I definitely appreciate everybody for being patient with me. I definitely appreciate y'all pulling up and still listening to your boy, you know, kicking it with your cool ass homie for a little bit. Stay tuned. I got some more stuff coming out for y'all. Like I said, I won't leave you hanging this time. I definitely be back on schedule. So I appreciate y'all pulling up and kicking it with your boy for a bit. And thank you for listening to another episode of I Gotta Do This Podcast Real Quick.